All right. Hey there, it's Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing live on Facebook today. We're going to be doing a discussion today about LinkedIn for professional speakers. And those of you who have been following me have probably known I've been doing a lot more within the public speaking arena, doing conferences and workshops, and I've actually enrolled in a public speaking course to build upon my previous experience of being a Toastmaster. So shout out to fellow Toastmasters out there in the audience. And I've made a conscious decision to focus more on expanding my public speaking business and really being more of a professional speaker. And I realized I was a few days ago driving in the car and I was thinking about kind of what I'm doing with my business. My niche has been helping people unlock the power of LinkedIn. And there's a lot of people out there that do that. What I'd like to do is offer you some tips if you're a person who's already getting paid to speak and you're looking at expanding your LinkedIn profile to help with that business, or maybe you're just dabbling in this area and you're trying to figure out if there's a way you can kind of monetize what you're already doing. Maybe you're working full time, looking at this as a side gig. Maybe you're an established public speaker. You've been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years, and this LinkedIn thing is a bit unwieldy. You're not quite sure what to do with it. So I want to give you some profile tips. So you can see me here on video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. So let's get started here. And some of these techniques that I'm going to cover with you today here are similar regardless of what you're doing on LinkedIn, but really focusing in here on if you are a professional speaker and you're looking to gain more public speaking business, get more client bookings, or simply just grow your brand awareness for what you're doing as a speaker. So there are really two sides of this coin of LinkedIn for professional speakers. And one is thinking about your profile as a tool for people that are seeking to book you as a speaker. So let's say my name has been dropped someplace, it's a national conference, and someone's going up on my profile now to learn more about me. We know that LinkedIn is a professional networking site. We know that people come to expect that we have a presence on LinkedIn. So they're expecting that the referral that they've been given, what they're going to see on your profile is going to match that referral. So first thing they're going to do, they're going to land on your profile and they're going to take a look, and they're going to look at, your profile photo. I'm going to pull it up a little bit larger here up on screen. They're going to look at your profile photo and, is that matching the professional image? Does it look professional? Are you pleasant, smiling? Are they getting a sense that, yes, you're going to be the right fit for the group? If you don't have a professional headshot, it is worth the investment. Get a photographer to do that for you. The gentleman I work with locally here in Metro Detroit is Scott Lawrence. Highly recommend. I usually get an updated headshot from Scott about once a year now because I want to make sure that that looks like me. That whether my hair color style has changed, my eyeglasses, makeup, anything, I want to make sure that that looks current. Not Brenda Meller from 10 years ago, but Brenda Meller from today, 2019. So that's really important. The other thing is look at this image in the background, guys. This is a header image that LinkedIn gives you. And by default, it's the dots and the lines with the teal blue in the background. Make sure that you have something that's branded. What I like to do as a speaker is I will promote my next event. And I will swap this out maybe once or twice a week, or at least once a month. Try to put some type of a different message in there. So think about using that. And I have seen some other folks, they've used that branded header to show themselves speaking at events. So whether it's a photograph or, a collage of different images, that type of thing, something that kind of demonstrates to them, yes, this is a professional speaker. Here's that person in action. I've seen people holding a microphone or up on stage with a TEDx in the background. I'm going to just pop over and just show you a few examples of these. So Matt Dibble, he's with a video company called Final Five. You can see Matt's here on stage at TEDx Detroit. So that's an example of kind of showing the speaker in action. Okay, so that's the next thing. And okay, this person is looking at booking you for a speaker. So maybe they only have your name. So the next thing they may do is look up your contact information. So scrolling through here, they're going to see, is there a phone number to get a hold of you? Is there an email address? And maybe they want to look up your website. So do you have your website listed? And really important here, I'm going to show you this. When I click on the pencil icon, if I had just had Meller, I'm just going to copy this to show you this technique here. If I just had Meller Marketing Company and I clicked on save, now it just says Meller Marketing Events Presentations Company website. Blah, boring, right? Now let's instead, I recommend you change this to other. and put a description of that in there. So I'm just going to put upcoming LinkedIn events in here. So it does a little bit of a description. So it describes to people what types of events and presentations do you do. Okay, so that's a little bit of a tip there. So make sure information in here is accurate, current, and periodically swap out your websites. You can use individual web pages. If you want to put your speaker demo reel video in there, you could do that as well. So think about using this as a tool to help sell and promote your business. Okay, and then scrolling through your profile, make sure that your headline is a headline. It's not professional speaker at Meller Marketing, but it's explaining to people what it is that you talk about, what's the focus of your presentations and your talks. So give a little bit of that as a teaser in your headline field. Scrolling down, I want to see that your summary statement or your about statement has been filled out here. Focus on the first 3 lines. Most people will not, I'm going to say that again, most people will not click on see more. The right people will if you capture their attention. Okay. So for that reason, focusing on the top 3 lines, I like to include a web address or contact information to make it super, super easy for people to find that information, just in case they don't click on contact info. I want to make it easy for them to get a hold of me. And then click on see more, and let's expand and see what you have in here. And I like to, maybe put a little bit of a teaser here, some of my upcoming events where you can see me in person. And then I also may use a heading of the speaking category. What do I speak about? Well, I speak about unlocking the power of LinkedIn. So I'm mentioning I'm a LinkedIn trainer, national presenter, LinkedIn strategy coach. And then here are some of the topics. And what I like to do here, guys, is instead of just putting this in a boring bulleted list, I like to use emojis that are professionally appropriate for LinkedIn. So in my case, I've used a green check mark emoji. And let me show you this. Now, the technique that I use for these emojis is I create my profile on my desktop, and I'm actually going to go into my phone and show you this right now. And I can go into my profile on my mobile, and you got to use the app to do this. But when I go into it on the phone, I can just use my emoji keyboard. And let's say instead of the green icon, I wanted to use something that was more related to public speaking. So what might an icon be related to public speaking? I'm just going to do one of these right now just to show you this technique here. I'm going to click on save, and then I'm going to refresh my desktop so you can see this. Isn't this cool? This is exciting. And now I'm going to go back to about, click on see more, and now I've got a little microphone icon next to that. So maybe I do that instead of the green check marks, I replace those with an icon that helps to support my public speaking business. Okay, so again, not just a boring bullet or a dash or something like that, but actually use something that is iconic within your space and kind of relates to the topic or what it is that you're doing. So here, since I'm a public speaker and often holding the microphone as I speak, I think that microphone icon works really well. So I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to refresh my screen again here so you can see. Now I've replaced all those emojis with microphone icon. So I'm planting the seed. This is what I do for a living. I'm a professional. Here are the topics with the little microphone icon next to them. Isn't it cool? Cool technique. All right, scrolling down, make sure that you're posting on a regular basis. Here is a really cool tip. The next time you're speaking publicly at an event, make sure that your very first slide, you have your social media handles. That tells the audience it's okay to take pictures of me and post me on social media, so that the text kind of says that. I also like to announce at the beginning of my talks, if anyone would like to take pictures of me presenting, of the screen, of the slides, feel free, just tag me on social media. And during the presentation, I will remind them of that. And the analogy I like to use is think about when you're going over a friend's house for the very first time. And they say, hey, Brenda, do you want a cup of coffee? And I really want one, but I don't want to put the person out. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Thank you. And we sit and we start talking. And then, 5-10 minutes into it, they get up and they're like, are you sure I'm going to refill my cup? Are you sure I can't get you a cup of coffee? And then you're like, well, if it's not too much trouble, sure. Please, that's great. Same thing with taking pictures at events and giving people permission to post your pictures. You want to tell them that multiple times in the presentation. Do it at the beginning. And then if there's some key messages up on screen, remind them. Go ahead, guys, take a picture of me presenting. And I will tell people also to tag me in the post when they're doing so. And I'm just going to look up, I was recently at a national conference, Together Digital, amazing organization. If you haven't heard of it, look them up online, Together Digital, and we have a conference hashtag. So what I did is I encouraged people during the conference, during the workshop presentation, to take pictures and to tag me. So you're going to see here, Kim Flannery Rye, she's also a public speaker. She speaks on the topics of diversity, equity, inclusion, and culture. And she did the technique that I practiced. And I said, take a picture, tag me in the post. And when you do so, I will comment back. And then make sure you're commenting with 5 or more words. And, you know, what I like to do is give them a question. So that keeps the conversation going a little bit longer. Now, sure, I could take a picture of myself and say, yay, me, today I'm out at Together Digital presenting, but why not have your audience do that and give them suggestions and say, feel free to take a picture of me as I'm presenting here today and share it on social media, specifically on LinkedIn. Tell your audience one thing you learned and feel free to take a picture of the slide to illustrate just that. So it's a great technique of helping to build your visibility, kind of building your tribe, if you will, your brand ambassadors, people that have seen you speaking. And it almost can qualify as almost like a testimonial because you have people in your network who are well respected, who are posting and talking about you on LinkedIn. So that's my technique there. All right, so that's kind of a quick once over. We've only got about 5 minutes remaining. And this is the first time I've done this session. So I'm just popping over into Facebook to see if any questions have come in from my audience. I think we have one comment in here. Let's see who that is. Stella is watching along and she's saying she can see my screen. So hi, Stella. So since Stella's on the session, I know Stella does some public speaking as well. I'm going to pop up her profile real quick. And Stella, you're going to be my profile review for today's session. So going onto Stella's profile, again, just reviewing the information I already gave you, professional looking headshot. When I see Stella in person, this looks like Stella. So great photo there. Background image, we've got some colors in here. I'm not sure how that exactly aligns with what she's doing. I like that it's kind of a creative color effect. So that's better than the default. But Stella, you may want to think about if the next time you're speaking, if somebody could capture a couple of photos of you in the background, or, you know, just as I suggested in my headline, if you were to use some type of a branded header and maybe just put a couple of keywords, phrases in there that remind people what you talk about. I know improvisation is one of your areas. And then I think you've got a tagline with your email, you know, get it out of your head before you go out of your mind or something. So that might be something to put into your header at the top there, Stella. Looking at her contact information, again here, Stella, I would change in your company website, I would change that to other and then describe, you have 30 characters total to do this, but describe what is it that you do? What are the services and areas that you specialize in? Okay. The other information you have in here, you've got your Twitter handle, you've got your phone number, so you're making it easy for people to get a hold of you. So really nice job there. And I do see that Stella's pretty active on LinkedIn. That's another little insider tip to keep up your visibility. You want to be in that homepage feed. So really nice job there, Stella. Hopefully that has helped you out. I'm going to see if anyone else has popped on over here. And Stella, if you're still watching, let me know if you have any specific questions there. Or if you do have any upcoming speaking engagements, Stella, do let me know that as well, because I will give you a shout out and help you to promote your upcoming events. All right. So let's see here. I think that's about it for now, guys. Stella is watching now, as you can see my screen. So I think that's it. And there's a couple other folks that are watching here today. If you're joining late, you can watch the playback. I'm going to post this on my Meller Marketing Facebook page later. And I'll also be pulling this video down and putting it up to YouTube. So this is just an idea I had. My expertise is in LinkedIn, and I'm also doing more professional speaking, conferences, events, workshops. So having both that experience of really understanding how to use LinkedIn effectively and also the expertise in being a public speaker and kind of being in that arena, I'm finding tips. And as I'm looking at others' profiles, I'm realizing right away there's some glaring things that can be fixed to help enhance your speaking presence. So we talked about a couple different things, but there's really two sides of the coin for public speakers. There's the people who are seeking you on LinkedIn who land on your profile, and then there's the people who stumble upon you who may not be actively seeking a speaker at this time, but maybe looking at you in the future. So you want to make sure that your profile has been optimized for both audiences. But really, the people that are seeking you, you want to make sure everything's in there so they can understand what are the topics you're speaking about, how do they get a hold of you, are there some clips of you speaking? You can do that by including a speaker demo reel, or like I do, I may include some speaking clips in the media section. If I go under my about, you can see here, I have a couple of those that are in here, and you can kind of see me speaking. And for the other folks, the ones that I like to say are not actively seeking at this time, but they may stumble upon you in the future, think about posting on a regular basis on LinkedIn. And what I like to do is I like to post once every business day, no more than once a day typically, but once minimum, and focus on telling more than selling. Okay. So sharing insights, tips, expertise, talking about other people when you go to events, talking about those events that you're attending, telling people about the organization, tagging the event organizer, tagging the event host, the venue, if you will, and building up that social media karma. So just showing you here on my screen, on Tuesday, I do a Take Action Tuesday. I always focus on some tip or philosophy or inspiration that helps those that are in career transition. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you know that every Tuesday is my Take Action Tuesday. This is a graphic I will periodically share, and I'll just encourage people, if they're job seeking, to remind us what you're looking for. And obviously these are people actively in career transition, not those kind of passive or self job seekers that are currently working. Those folks I have different techniques for. If you're hiring, I encourage you to comment on the post, include a link for the job posting and instructions on how people can apply. So that's my Take Action Tuesday. Monday, I've started doing a Marketing Monday. In my world, I call it a Meller Marketing Monday, and a marketing tip. And yesterday, I did a tip about promoting your upcoming events and how you do that through your event page on your website, through social media, through your email newsletter. So, and I also mentioned a couple of my upcoming events in there. So that's kind of it. You know, every day of the week I do something. Every Friday I do a Friday shout. So I'll give a shout out to someone in my network. This past Friday I gave a shout out to our Fab Five Inform co-leaders, and I think that worked out really well. Lots of nice engagement. And to close you guys off here, if you are a professional speaker looking at enhancing your presence on LinkedIn to support your public speaking business, pay attention to your numbers. What I would recommend, I'm going to scroll down to mine right now in my profile, look at your dashboard. The number I focus on the most is the very first one, who viewed your profile. When you click on this, you're going to see your trend line. And what I like to focus on is, look at the peaks. Something happened during those weeks that drove profile views. More than likely, I was speaking at an event or at a conference during that week, and I had a lot of people looking at my profile. It also may have been I was involved in a post that was getting a lot of comments and activity. So focus on those numbers. Those in turn will drive profile views. And remember that your profile is for selling. That's where you sell yourself as a public speaker, and that's where you can start to get more of those speaking engagements. All right, so that's been today's LinkedIn for Professional Speakers. I hope this has been helpful for you. This will be available on my YouTube channel, and I'll be sharing the link on other social media sites later as well. Wherever you're watching this, I would love it if you could please follow, like. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and I may be doing additional series for LinkedIn for professional speakers in the future. So that's it for now. Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. Have a great day.